Hello, everyone, and welcome to the February edition of the Autocall Academy webcast. We're really pleased that you had a chance to join us today, and we're really excited for the program that we have coming up for you today, as we have a lot of really exciting and really big product launches to share with you. My name is Peter Ryan. For those of you who I haven't met yet, I'm in the marketing team for Autocall, and I'll be sort of emceeing the event today, and I'll also be doing a catch-up later on at the end to bring you up to speed on some of the marketing assets that we've created and released to support some of these great launches. So for today, just as a reminder that this session is being recorded and we'll be posting it on the Autocall website for replay afterwards so that anyone who didn't have a chance to join can listen to it. We're also going to hold questions in the Q&A format. There isn't any audio questions available in this particular session, but if you type them into the Q&A window on your interface, as we go along, we'll definitely make time to do a question and answer session at the end and to address any questions that come up and to give you all the information you're looking for. So with that, a quick update on the agenda. We'll start off with a Partner of the Month program review, and then two of the big workstation related launches that we've had, version 6.02, which is a really big step up for TSW, and a brand new thing called the BSIU, which we think will open a lot of doors for graphical workstations for you and your customers. And then we'll be also launching SafeLink, remote services, connected services, I should say. I always call it remote services and it will kill me. Connected services model. So with that, we'll go ahead and kick off and we'll pass this over to Evan. Evan, you're up.
Hey, good afternoon, team. Evan Bombino here. I'm going to just quickly say congratulations and thank you to this month's Partner of the Month program winners. So it looked like it was going to be a landslide win by the West until our friends at NSG stepped up on an order. So let's run through this and congratulate our peers. The most social media posts go out to A&D Fire. So congratulations, keep up the hard work. And this is a category we continue to see more and more posts by all of you. So we greatly appreciate that. And please don't slow down. Organize the most spec owner presentations on Autocall. Comes out from the island, out in the middle of the ocean, Integrated Systems LLC, and they've also taken the spot for added the most Autocall brands to specs, and they've provided a copy of the spec for more points. Like I said earlier, our friends out in the East, NSG, Life Safety, have landed the biggest order for the month. Landing them the award for this spot. And then the competitor conquest. So this is really what we came to market to do, right? Is go gain market share with another JCI brand, being Autocall, and A&D took that one as well. So congratulations to all of you. We're going to flip over to look at next month's, and we're holding a lot of the same categories as we feel that they're driving the right focus for our market share growth. So same ones, most social media posts, make sure you're tagging the Autocall brand, take a picture of your post, send it over to your ASM, continue to organize those presentations, the virtual or in-person lunch and learns to educate the spec owners, so architects, engineers, or whoever's really driving that spec. Adding the most Autocall to brand or to specs, like we said above, but this one, give us a copy of the spec that says Autocall, and we'll give you more points. And then the lightning round, again, will be largest order placed, and then the competitor conquest. So I wish you all the best, and congratulations to the winners. And one last thing I wanted to leave you all with is our past year's winners, so FY21. Some of you have started to be recognized for the hard work that you did last year in sales excellence and whatnot, and we'll actually present that out to the broader team as we go forward and as we look forward to our in-person event that we're just getting some of the final details on. So thank you, and I'm going to turn it over.
Thank you, Evan. Good afternoon, everyone. Good morning, folks on the West Coast and folks on the island. My name is Anil Kanjwar. I am a product leader for our connected solutions. And I'm really excited to talk about some of the enhancements that we're making to TrueSight Workstation. That's version 602. And then we'll also talk about one of the most important features that's part of this launch is a new application for TSW software. It's called Building Systems Information Units. It's a little bit mouthful. It's BSIU basically, and we're in fact first to the market with this, and it will open up more opportunities for you in the market. So next slide, please. So what's been launched as part of TSW 602? So we have improved look and feel. Basically, you have new 3D style graphics with new icons. There are editing capabilities, graphic editing capabilities that have been made easier, so easier graphic editing. There is expanded DSCR compatibility, so we've added 2 more DSCRs to the compatible DSCRs that can connect to TSW. We have enhanced that hop swap capability for the supervised client support. We added some additional support for Spanish, Portuguese, and Arabic languages. I mean, if you already know, TSW supports French language, right? We have these localization kits, and now we added support for Spanish, Portuguese, and Arabic. And then finally, the BSIU support is part of the TSW configuration, but then BSIU itself, we'll have more details on slides further down. So basically, you know, as you probably already know, right, TSW is the most powerful and easiest to configure workstation in the market. And with these enhancements, I think you'll be pleased that there are some jobs that you can win based on the capabilities that you see here. Next slide. So with the new graphics, enhanced look and feel, right there, it's more information that's now in an easier to interpret format, right? The new design is easier to navigate. It helps the operators process information and respond to events more effectively, right? There is now a custom background image that can be added for each screen. You can have a personalized display which reduces the screen clutter, so operators can zero in on critical information. So you can actually, you know, select floor background only, or you can select background and room names. Right, you can have background, room names, and device names. So you can, in fact, customize how you want to see your displays. Right. Then there is new programming tools that would help in saving technician timing. Right. New graphic screen programming options, and then we've also going to provide a conversion service for existing CAD files. Right. So your 2D CAD files, they need to be converted into 3D graphics. So there are part numbers that's associated with that service that we provide, you know, converting those 2D into 3D graphics. And then there is a file import support also has been added as part of this launch. Next slide. So as I mentioned in the introduction, expanded DSCR compatibility. So what does DSCR capability of the feature that we have in TSW? This is a capability which allows control units that are not networkable. So think about a site where, you know, you have non-Autocall panels too, right? So this is a way for bringing in non-Autocall panels into TSW, right? So the panels from other manufacturers that are not networkable on ESNet, right? So those can be brought in through a DSCR connection. So panels that are not networkable, or panels which are too remote for a network connection, and they can be monitored as a TSW. So any brand control unit that can be connected to the TSW using a DSCR. So any brand which supports, you know, contact ID or SIA protocol, right? And you can say almost every brand, right? Because that's what every fire alarm does, right? Send information or every fire alarm has a DACT, and then it can send information to a central station receiver, so the DSCR. So basically, TSW provides that capability to integrate to any third-party panels. So with 6.02 now, we have added support for CerGuard System 5 receiver and AES Intellinet 7705, their version 2 receiver. The other compatible models which we always had were the Bosch, which are listed here, right? There's CerGuard model 1 through 4, the other AES Intellect, their first version, and then Surguard model MLR2, right? So, this provides that monitoring all control units within a single console, simplifying their operation and emergency response. So this is a great capability on TSW. Next slide. So for networks with more than one TSW server, right, we have added an optional auto connect feature for TSW clients. So what happens is the technician can configure a primary server and a secondary server for each supervised client. And if either the primary or secondary server connection is lost, the client automatically switches to the other server. So a customer does never have to worry about losing connection to TSW or losing visibility to their critical fire system information, right? So if you need fault tolerance and uninterrupted service, you would use a TSW client with this capability. Next slide. So kind of summarizing, what 6.02 allows different stakeholders, right? Of course, for the sales team, right, it offers a great looking, easy to use console, right, that they can go and sell to their customers. They can deliver manage an entire fire alarm system from a single screen. They can offer to their customers what's really needed, right, using the software feature code, and then drive project price and margin through lower programming costs. Of course, for technicians, they can more quickly and easily configure and program TSW systems. And then in the automatic server hot swap capability, right, they can boost system fault tolerance with that capability. And then, of course, for customers, you have a great looking, easy to use workstation, a console that puts all their fire alarm system information on a single screen, right? It enables them fast, accurate response through a better user interface. And then there is capability in TSW called action notes, right? You can actually configure or document what actions or what you can take notes on what actions you've taken. So that enables them to track what they've done. They can track the accurate response, do the audit log, right? All those capabilities available to the customers. And then, of course, they can buy only the features they need. Next slide. So let's talk about the Building Systems Information Unit, or the BSIU. So what is a BSIU, right? A BSIU is a computer used to enunciate and control the building fire alarm system, right? So before 2019, NFPA 72 required that the primary operator console, the hardware and software must be UL864 listed when used for system control, right? The keyword here is control, right? Even before this BSIU, a non-UL864 listed hardware could still be used when you're only enunciating events or you VO only, right? But if you need control, that's when you need a UL864 listed computer. And then, as most of you know, a UL864 listed two-side workstation can be very expensive depending on what configuration you have. And then, of course, it can drive up system costs, especially when you need multiple consoles or multiple workstations. Think about large campus facilities. So facilities that would benefit from a workstation, but they can't use them because they can't afford them. They're not within their budgets, right? So now in 2019, NFPA 72 now allowed a new unit called a BSIU that allows non-UL864 listed computers to be used as a console. And of course, you still need to meet some design requirements, some specifications that still need to be met. We'll cover those in further slides, but basically what BSIU allows you to do is you're lowering your hardware costs, and that will help you win more projects and allow more customers to use a TSW. And again, we are first in the market to bring this capability. Next slide. So what's part of this launch, right? BSIU. So BSIU operation is a mode for TrueSight workstation software. So BSIU is really a software license, right? You're buying you need a TSW 6.02 software, and you need a TSW BSIU software license. And then part of the TrueSight workstation configurator job setting is you will select whether you're using a TSW or whether you're using a BSIU. So BSIU is one of the features that you would select in the configurator. And then a customer can now use a lower cost computer hardware, which is not UL864 listed. Doesn't have to be UL864 listed, but it still needs to meet some NFPA BSIU regulatory requirements, right? There still is a UL basic computer requirement, a standard UL 6950. There's some details on the next slides that they can purchase locally in a commercially available PC, right? So next slide. So what exactly does the code say, right? There's some snippet from the code, right? Not going to go through that, but you know, the bottom line is BSIU is a computer-based electronic device that is intended to display building information and execute system control functions, including fire system information, display, and control. So bottom line, it's exactly what TSW does today, right? But you don't need a UL864 PC. And then the code also lists what the criteria for the hardware is, right? So first is, as I mentioned, UL 6950 listed computers. These are actually readily available computers. You know, my laptop that I'm using, right? It is a UL 6950 listed computer. So any computer, right, that we typically use is UL 6950 listed. They can be purchased in open market locally, of course. And then, you know, it provides you more choices and lower cost to you and your customers. One thing to note, right? The application software for the BSIU shall be listed to 864, UL 864. So the BSIU software is 864 listed, not the PC that you would buy. Next slide. So when can you use a BSIU, right? A non-UL 864 listed computer. So these are some of the guidelines, right? Number one, the BSIU must be located in the same room or space as the system fire alarm control unit. So bottom line, so BSIU must be in the same room as either the fire alarm panel or the fire alarm control unit or an NDU. It doesn't have to be a full control unit. The BSIU operations are limited to the same ones that can be performed by the nearby control unit. So it needs to have the exact same capability. And the control units must be independent and each must keep working if the other fails, right? So they don't need, they have to be independent, right? So these are some of the key requirements for BSIU. And just some information on where do you find them in the code, right? In NFPA 72 2019 version. Another thing to add, right? The BSIU is a server only, so there are no remote clients that can be connected to BSIU. So it's a server only application. And I think I talked about the PC standard. Yeah, and the BSIU and the panel must be in the same room. Okay, next slide, please. So how do you order this software part number and some of the computer specifications? So the part number is A19084A08, right? It's a TSW BSIU workstation, software only, and then the customer provides their own computer per, either 62368-1 or 6950. I mean, you can't get away from UL, right? You still have, you know, it's not 864, but there's some other standard, but those are commercially available PCs. And some of the minimum specifications for the PCs, right? Can be a Dell Optiplex 3070, needs a 4 gig minimum RAM, 160 gig minimum hard disk space, and then Windows 10, either Pro or Enterprise, 32 or 64-bit. Next slide. It's kind of bringing it all together, right? So why should I care about BSIU, right? It lowers the cost for workstation applications, right? Using PCs that are not UL864 listed dramatically lowers the hardware cost for a workstation. They can be sold as software only, delivering UL864 approved software with all the features and reliability that facilities need. Of course, better safety and operator efficiency, right? Graphical consoles show more information, make it easier for operators to understand the emergency and respond more quickly. Lower cost consoles allow more customers to afford them, right? Customers with consoles will be able to now add more and boost both safety and efficiency in their facilities, right? Some of the target customers could be, Customers who require management of small to mid-sized facilities or campuses, right, with complex fire alarm operations. They still want to do day-to-day operations, but they lack budget for a full-blown TSW. That's where that's the target customer for BSIU. And then finally, easily access information reports. So having a BSIU console makes it easier for a user to view and print reports. They can, meet regulatory compliance. It becomes much easier with testing, inspection, and demonstrating that they are in compliance. So with that, so stay tuned for an announcement in next couple of weeks on TSW 602 and BSIU, and look forward to selling more BSIU. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Pepe, who's going to cover SafeLink. Thank you.
Thank you, Anil. Good afternoon. Good morning, everybody. So my name is Pedro Pena. I'm a product manager for Connected Services and part of Anil's team. And I'm happy today to introduce you to the Connected Services Gateway and SafeLink Cloud. Next slide, please. So what's being launched is this Connected Services Gateway that will enable the SafeLink Cloud. It's a globally accessible cloud-based hosting infrastructure. We'll be able to host data from different panels and be able to give people access to their panels from a mobile application and a web application. So this new gateway is compatible with our ES family of panels, so the 4007, 4100, and 4010 ES panels. And at this time, you do need one gateway per connected control unit. The web interface keeps you and your customers connected with your Life Safety systems at all times. So any notifications, any events that happen at the panel, you'll get those instantaneously. And the multi-layer cloud data access model enables you to be able to manage multiple panels from a single website and application. So whether you have a single panel of one small building or multiple buildings across the country or customers all over the world, you'll be able to see all the connected panels that you can manage in the same platform. For service providers, right, and this gives you better visibility and emergency response and the ability to know what's happening before you get on site. Next slide, please. So some of the benefits, right, that I mentioned in the previous slide is you have the ability to monitor and manage multiple locations. So connecting your panel and the West Coast or East Coast, regardless of where you are, if you have the mobile application and a SafeLink connected panel, you'll have access to your panel to view information and understand what's going on and see historical logs from anywhere in the world. Better safety and emergency response. So by getting notifications immediately, right, not having to be on site to get this notification, so being in front of the panel, it allows you to prepare better for safety response and emergency response when something is not going well. Improved service and efficiency quality is one of the big benefits that we see for service providers. So the ability to now, before you get on site, knowing what kind of trouble you're getting at a panel, right, with details and information, what kind of issues you might be getting into before you get on site will allow you to bring the right equipment and the right materials for them, so you can fix this the first time you go on site. So you'll be prepared when you go to the customer site. You have all the information that you need before you go there, as if you were standing in front of the panel. And then one of the other benefits is easily access to information and reports, right? So through the web interface or the mobile application, you'll be able to see historical logs, live events, and you'll be able to schedule maintenance more efficiently and reduce disruption as you go on site. Next slide, please. So how does this all fit together, right? So there's a physical gateway installed in the panel, and this module is installed in each one of the control units. This gateway enables both central station connection and SafeLink cloud connectivity. The gateway itself, it's going to be an enabler for a lot of our digital services that we have in the future, because it's cloud-based application. We'll be able to update the application itself and have new features and enhancements be launched with some frequency, right? Could be quarterly, could be twice a year, but we'll be able to have enhancements for digital services through SafeLink Cloud Connected Gateway. For the connection itself, right, the gateway will have some flexibility for internal mounting or external mounting for both the gateway itself and a cellular connection option. So this gives you flexibility, whether you're going to connect through Ethernet connection or a cellular connection. You have the ability to mount those internally inside of the panel if you have enough space, or there's an external enclosure that you can mount outside of the panel if you don't have enough space, or if you need to get a better cell signal, we also have some extension cables for the antenna kits. We also have for central station connection, the ability to connect with 2 regular telephone lines. Again, this is compatible with all the ES control units, 4007, 4010, and 4100. And next slide, please. So this is a quick preview of what the web interface actually does as part of the SafeLink Cloud. So like I mentioned, the central station is one part of the gateway that it can do. And the other part of this is giving you access to this web interface and this cloud connection. So in the web interface, you'll be able to manage your workspaces, which is where your customers and your panels, you can manage and see the different panels and different locations. You can manage users. You can add and remove devices as you have new customers come on board with SafeLink Cloud. They just have to be able to opt in. You can see here, as you can see in the screenshot, if you can see it, these are live events. So any event that happens on the panel, you'll be able to see it on the web interface or the cloud panel itself, or the mobile application. So it would be the same thing that you'd see if you're standing in front of the panel. You'll have the same number on the counter for trouble as you have in the web interface. How you can use this is just like if you're standing in front of the control unit, right? So you have access to reports, status of the panel, status of the cards, see different historical logs, and then change notification settings. So you can change notification settings to be on both the push application and the mobile application, or be email only notifications. There's the ability, one of the big benefits of this too is as a service provider, you'll be able to provide better technical support. So if a customer calls, right, or a technician is going on site, you might be able to provide technical support remotely because you have visibility into the panels that the customer is calling about or that the technician might have a question about. Next slide. The mobile application, very similar to the web application, allows you to see the status and events of your connected control units. The push notifications, again, alert you immediately and when an event is happening. So whether the app is running or not or is closed in the background, you'll still get no push notifications that will alert you when something is happening. A neat thing is that you can also search for active or historical events. So if your event log is 8,000 lines, you can quickly search for a specific address device or a specific keyword that you might be looking for in a name. So it allows you to search through the historical log pretty quickly. And there's a variety of languages support. I think actually we're missing a few here. I think we're up to 10 languages at this point. And how can I use it, right? So I think for the end user, the customers right on site, they're more likely to be using the mobile application to just be alerted of events happening at all times. So you can use it to coordinate event response, plan maintenance and service activities. And from a dealer and service provider perspective, you can use this while you're on site doing testing, inspection, and maintenance. And then while you're offsite, right, while you're remote, you can provide technical support. You'd probably be using more the web application in that case. Next slide. So one thing I mentioned, right, is that this is a cloud application platform. The application itself is not on the gateway, right? It's a cloud-based application, which gives us the ability, like I mentioned, to be able to update and make changes to the application itself, whether it's the different workflows, add new features, add new reports, analytic reports, different ways of looking at things on the cloud interface. So this is one of the key things that we have with SafeLink Cloud, is that because it is a cloud platform and that's where we have all the data stored, we are able to make changes to make the product better with more frequency. The cloud, right, that's where the data is stored for events, panel accounts, accounts for each user, right? There's a separation, right? So customers do not get to see each other's panels and workspaces. So something that you're able to manage on the cloud platform itself. And this is what connects everything, right? We have a connection from the panel to the gateway to the cloud, and then the gateway, and then the cloud application is what lets you see the interface in the mobile application and the web application. So this is used again, right, to deliver critical building events, whether it's alarm, troubles, etc., to different people of interest, whether it's a service provider, maintenance team, the responders that might be on site. And allows you to, in a way, interrogate what the fire panel is doing, right? So if you have any questions or if you have any concerns that there might be, something going on with the panel, you can quickly check the historical log and see if there's anything that's been happening on the panel, and be able to do better maintenance and prepare for service better. Next slide, please. And the same gateway card, right? Not only does it provide SafeLink Cloud connection, but its main purpose is to do central station interface. So as a communicator, right, it has an IP connection, so you can connect to central station with Ethernet connection, a cellular connection, or a plain old telephone service line that has 2 POTS line. And you can set up this way with primary and secondary in multiple combinations that are allowed by UL. The cellular connection, we do not provide the SIM cards. They're not included as part of the gateway of the cell package, and the cellular itself is a daughter board that attaches to the gateway. So it's 2 different parts that attach to each other. And the central station, right? I mean, that's been used in the past, right? It's used to deliver critical building events to central station, right? Alarms, troubles, etc. Reporting can be configured with 1 path, dual path, with a primary and secondary, and is programmed for specific requirements of the central station and the connected fire alarm control unit. Next slide, please. So SafeLink allows, right, it enables some of the benefits, and it kind of goes, it's pretty broad for the benefits, right? You got sales team that can benefit from using SafeLink Cloud. It lets customers manage all their fire alarm systems in a single place. Right, you can provide better sales tools and support if you have connection to your panels and your customers' panels. Offer a remote control unit connection and with a web interface, and drive project price and margin through sales of expanded solution offerings. So I think as we continue to expand SafeLink, not just what we have available today, right, the ability to look at your panels, view the reports, and see live events. As we continue to add features and enhancements to the platform, it will become a lot, there'll be premium features, right, that will be able to enhance what customers can do with their panels and how they get access to their panels. For technicians, I think this has been covered through the presentation, right? That one of the big abilities is to, before you get on site, having the right information available to you. So you'll be able to determine if a customer with a trouble is something that you have the right equipment to go right away, if it's something you need to order before you get there, because you have access to your panels, to your customers' panels remotely. And then lastly, right, for the customers, I think having your life safety system available at all times is a critical part of what they want to do as they're managing their building. We have a lot of other connected systems, right, that we might have connected at home, but from a life safety system in a business and a commercial building, this is something that's new and that will benefit all customers that are trying to stay on top of their life safety systems in a building, right? So the ability to receive push notifications from anywhere they are, as soon as something happens on the panel, they don't have to wait for somebody to tell them, hey, this panel's making some noise. They'll be able to get this information right away, and also be able to be more proactive when it comes to making changes and making decisions related to the life safety systems and what things need to be upgraded. Next slide, please. So here are some of the parts that will be available soon for the connected gateway and the cellular modules. There's a different model for each one of the panels, right? For the 4100, 4010, and 4007, those are different part numbers. And then for the cellular modem, as you can see in the bottom right picture, it attaches to the gateway, but it is a separate part. So if you need a cellular connection, right, whether you don't have an Ethernet drop at the panel, or your customer might not want to connect the gateway to their network, the cellular connection gives you that option to bypass the customer's network and connect directly to either AT&T or Rogers, as was currently compatible with. Next slide, please. And then these are some of the part numbers for the extension kits. We have up to 50 feet of extensions. So if you have your panel might be in a place that you might not have a good cell connection, right? You can now extend where the antenna is installed to get better service up to 50 feet from the panel. We also have these external enclosures that will allow you to mount the gateway externally to the panel. So whether you don't have enough space inside of the panel, or you just want the ability to just have quick access to the gateway for whatever reason, we have this external enclosures that you can mount outside of the panel itself. Next slide. And that was the last slide. Thank you.
Okay, Pepe. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the update, and thank you, Anil, for the new launch information. Really, again, I think they're really exciting new products. I think the TSW looks great, and the BSIU, just by not having to spend that extra money on the 864 machines, will really make that a lot more accessible to everybody else. So to go ahead with that, what I wanted to do is share with you some of the support materials that Aaron and I have been working on to help promote these launches and to help you explain and sell these products to your customer. The first thing we'll talk about is the TSW and BSIU. As you're all aware, we've done a series of brochures for the Autocall line. We have the panel, or I should say the control units brochure, the networking brochure, the initiating, etc. So what we've done is we've taken the brochure that covers the networks and workstations, and we've pulled it apart and put it back together again to retell the story of the TrueSight workstation and the BSIU. So all the information about the ESNet, including the network sync and so forth, have been updated. And then, of course, we've added the BSIU and the TSW. We've also gone ahead and created a new visual infographic. We call it an explainer infographic that has the TSW and the BSIU shown visually in the types of buildings that they would be best suited for, and also gives you sort of a quick overview of what they do and why they're beneficial to the customer. One of the things that we realized too, though, is that the BSIU as a concept is new, and it's a little bit hard to explain or for people to grasp. That ability to have UL 864 listed enunciation on a non-UL 864 listed machine is a new concept. So what we've done is we've done a podcast episode with Roger Reiswig to talk about what the changes in the code are and why you can use the BSIU and how you can use it. And we've also created a white paper that addresses the same thing. So the idea is that you'll be able to use the white paper and the podcast to help educate yourselves and also your customers about the benefits of a BSIU, and that those facilities that maybe couldn't afford a TSW, maybe were a little bit too small for a TSW before, but really would like that graphical management console, like a school, small office building, can now get that because they don't have to pay the burden of the really expensive 864 hardware. Finally, we've also been highlighting this topic on social media. So, our LinkedIn channels, our banner advertising, and also our Google AdWords and so forth. So these are the materials that are available, and we're going to continue to push on social media as we go forward. In a similar vein, we've also put materials together for SafeLink. Again, a brochure. We've created a brand new brochure that we're calling the Connected Services brochure. So now we have this one added to the stable. And again, it's designed to talk about how having your system connected to the cloud and that consistent access to all your information on your systems is beneficial to a customer, and how it can help keep you safer, do better service, and keep you more efficient. And then again, of course, we've done the explainer infographic, again, showing visually how the gateway goes into the control unit, how it goes through the cloud, how it connects to the central station, and the benefits and capabilities that are provided by that connectivity. And then finally, again, social media, we've created a series of banner ads and other activities to go ahead and push SafeLink. So really happy that these are available to you now. Going on, I wanted to call out a couple other things from a marketing standpoint that we're just finishing. That we think will be really helpful to you. One of the big things we've always heard is that the TrueAlert ES line is a really great selling point to the Autocall systems, the ability to do their self-test and the scheduled self-test and the labor and so forth. But we always talk about how great it is and what it does for you, but we've never had figures that we could actually prove it. I'm happy to say that that's changed as of, I think, yesterday. Aaron got the approval from legal. Bruce Marion worked with the students and faculty at Worcester Polytechnic, WPI, right here in Massachusetts. What they did is they took a 12-story hotel project, and they did that whole project from beginning to end, looking at the design, laying out the system, doing all the calculations, just exactly like you would do those projects for real. And they did them with conventional notification, and they did them with TrueAlert ES. They measured the wiring that you would need, the gauge of wiring, the power calculations, again, the whole ball game. What they verified and proved through this study is that you're going to save at least 10 to 12% by using TrueAlert ES. So even though the appliances are more expensive and you're paying a premium for that TrueAlert ES capability, it's actually cheaper than doing the quote unquote cheaper conventional appliances for the project. So there really is data now to back up and prove that, when we say TrueAlert ES is more efficient for you, it is. And this isn't, again, counting the service that goes on afterwards, which where the self-testing really shines. This is just saying straight out project by using the T-tapping, the enhanced power calculations, the better power usage, that whole programming capabilities of the system, it's actually cheaper. And again, if you have really high labor rates, like if you're in a place like New York or Boston or, where they have high labor rates and with the skyrocketing cost of materials, the bigger the project and the more labor that goes into something and the more wiring that goes into it, the better you're going to do with TrueAlert ES. So we created a white paper, which is what you're seeing here on the slide, which is sort of an extract. So it goes through the approach and it goes through the results. But then we're going to put this on social media, and if people want, they can actually go on and we'll post the actual study. So if they want to read the, dozens and dozens of pages in the study produced by the university that shows how this all worked, they can do that. And of course, you all have that too. So now you can go into an engineer or a contractor and say, TrueAlert ES works. We've said it works. We can prove it works. It's the right choice for you, and it's the right choice down the road from the standpoint of testing and inspection. And also, there's with COVID, there's no don't shortchange the safety aspect of it, because without the inspector having to go throughout the facility, it's one less risk in terms of exposure and having personnel throughout a building. So really pleased with this. It's something that we've been working on for quite a while. And Bruce and his team did an amazing job, and we're glad to have this cleared and ready to go out. So you'll be watching for that shortly. And then finally, the one thing I did want to mention, we brought this into the last newsletter, and we wanted to bring it up again too. There's a project that's coming, and it's far down the road, but it's for a new small voice panel. It's basically a 4007 ES control unit based audio panel that will allow you to bring audio support to small buildings. So you can have a smaller facility like a school, again, maybe a grammar school, something where the codes are starting to push us into having to use voice for those type of applications. But, using a 4100, full 4100 is just overkill. Or you want something that's a little bit more advanced than the, a small panel with a 4003 hook to it. So the 4007 audio audio variant is coming, and we wanted to get some suggestions from you on what we should call it. So we're going to give it a name, and the name has to be descriptive. And by descriptive, it can't be the Mega 3000 or the Supertron or something like that. It has to be from a copyright standpoint and trademarking standpoint, something that describes what it does. Audio control unit, voice command center, emergency command center, something like that. So what we did is we put together a survey. There's the link, and if you want to take that QR code and scan it with your phone, it'll bring you to the link. That'll take you onto a survey. You can go ahead and put your suggestions in there. We're going to put them all into the pile, if you will. Sit down as a team, come out with with the favorites, run them past legal, and then we'll be making a decision. So you actually, have a chance here, if you want to make your voice heard to really determine the name of this product before it comes out, and to have a hand in actually creating it. So we really hope that, I think it's, exciting because we usually don't open this up, and it's something new we're doing. And I really hope you take advantage of it. So just please, no panel McPanel face or Bodie McVote face, like that before. That won't make it through the review, as you can imagine. So some pretty exciting stuff, a lot going on in the marketing world. We hope you like the materials. If you need other materials, or if you want additional materials or changes to these materials, certainly reach out to me or Aaron. We're here to help you win. And if the materials need to change to do that, then we'll make it happen. So with that, we'll open it up to questions on the Q&A line, and we can go from there. Looking at the sessions interface here, I don't see that we have any questions entered through the Q&A panel. So we'll give everybody just a couple seconds to type something in. Evan, maybe I'll put you on the spot here, just toss over if there's anything that you wanted to add or amplify on any of the products that we talked about today.
I would say, there's a great amount of excitement for the products that we described today. I think for most of the folks that are on the phone and most of the folks that sell our Autocall product, as business owners and integrators, we look for opportunities to optimize our business or be a differentiator within the marketplace. And I think there's some opportunity to do that with what you heard today. And we'll continue to build off these products to be more analytics based and come up with service offerings that truly help you not only run your business and people, but have your end users have visibility into the health of their system, and really just more knowledge, right? What can we do with all the data that we're able to pull out of panels now? So pretty exciting times. And then the other thing that I was going to wrap up with is just that we all know that we're in this predicament, I'll call it, or headwinds. Somebody called it today or yesterday, Evan, it's not headwinds, it's a tornado, with our supply chain and being able to get product out. I would say the forecast has us heading in a direction that obviously is going to improve. Nothing monumental in the very near term. So we appreciate everything you're doing to bear the storm with us and being very understanding with all that we're doing to try to make sure that product's going out the door. With that being said, there's a couple things that are happening with 4100 reconfigurations and foundation series panels in the pipeline to come out. So please continue to work with your ASMs and your FSEs on alternate solutions if you need to go down that route. If you have a project that is pressing and we need to look at altering it or changing it, please make sure you reach out to the ASMs and the FSCs, and we'll do all that we can to make sure that your needs are met. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Evan. I really appreciate those comments, and thanks for the update on the supply situation. I'm looking at the interface here, and it looks like there are no questions that have been asked here. So I think we can go ahead and call this a wrap. Watch for the next issue of the Autocall newsletter that'll be coming out next week. And I hope you're also all taking advantage of the Autocall Fire Talk sessions that are being held by the FSEs, which are also a fantastic forum for getting into questions and details and really leveraging their experience. So thank you all. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll look forward to the next time we talk. Take care.
Thank you.